me ha sacado a flote. Así que nada, no pasa nada. Todo aquel que escupió para arriba, tenga en cuenta, póngase un paraguas porque les va a caer en la cara. Nunca he necesitado hacer trampa para yo resaltar. Nunca. Todo lo que lo he hecho con sudor. ¿Sabe? El que sabe es aquí, nunca en mi vida.
Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Subscribe to that channel. Tony also knows boxing. Yes, there's a lot of things that are taking place right now. Before I give you the update on what's going on with Subriel Matias, I want to talk about Devin Haney's performance against Brian Norman. I forgot to mention that in my previous video. I really was surprised and shocked on how superb and great. I got to give credit where credit is due. How great Devin Haney looked in that fight against Brian Norman Jr. Before the fight, I was predicting that Brian Norman Jr. was going to knock out Devin the Glass Chin Haney. But I was proven wrong by Devin Haney, and I must give him his credit. I must give him his props, and I think that he fights better at the 147 weight class division because I think he was struggling to make weight, and he wasn't as strong as he is now at 147 when he fought Ryan Garcia. And I believe that despite what happened in that fight with Ryan Garcia and Ryan Garcia using Ostarine and purposely to enhance his performance, I still think that if Devin Haney was to actually fight Ryan Garcia right now, he would have a chance to beat him because he would not be struggling to make weight, and he would actually have a lot better chance to be stronger and not be weak making the weight. Actually, when you actually drain yourself to make the weight, it weakens you. So I do believe that he took some shots from Brian Norman Jr. He took shots from him, but he didn't take repetitive shots from him. He actually held, and he makes sure that he spun him around and he was holding at the time so he don't get hit too cleanly with Brian Norman's shots. But he did get hit on the chin, but not as consistently as to make him actually get overwhelmed by the power of Brian Norman Jr. But he did a fantastic job and using his jab, and he even knocked down Brian Norman, which I was shocked. I thought Brian Norman was going to be the one to do that to Devin Haney. So he actually knocked down Brian Norman, and he actually hurt him. I think he was stunned. He was shocked. I think it was the speed that really surprised Brian Norman. And, Brian Norman Jr. couldn't figure out the footwork. He couldn't cut the ring the way he wanted to. He couldn't time him the way he wanted to, and he couldn't, he changed up his plan a little bit towards the middle rounds, and he was able to adjust a little bit, but not really. He was not able to figure out how to be effective with his aggression, and he should have went to the body more, and he didn't do enough to cut the ring, and he struggled. He really struggled with Devin Haney's ability to move and jab, and I just think that Devin Haney is better at this weight, and I still believe he has a suspect chin, but he was able to use his jab, and I feel like he's stronger in this weight class and able to use a lateral movement to befuddle and confuse Brian Norman Jr. So I give credit to Devin Haney for his victory, and I think it was an impressive victory in spite of what some people may say. Nice. Scottish Highlander #1 says nice. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Subscribe to that channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Super Ray, best to glove up. I like everybody giving their opinions and actually tuning into my channel. Subscribe to the channel. Are you from India? Can you do the thing? You see the Puerto Rican flag and you ask me if I'm from India. That's an ignorant statement. That's a stupid statement, actually. If you're gonna bring those stupid comments on my channel, please digress and go somewhere else. You don't deserve to be on this channel. But if you want to be entertained and get knowledge and good information on boxing, and let's talk about boxing instead of bringing silly comments like that. I'm Puerto Rican. So anyway, you see the flag. So Sammy Campbell says, hey, thanks for tuning into the channel, Sammy Campbell. I appreciate you. And everybody else tuning in, subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Look at all the greats behind me. Look at all the greats. So Yes, we're going to talk about the New York State Athletic Commission. Um, the New York State Athletic Commission has gave the green light for Super Matias to continue fighting January 10th, 2026, to defend his title in the Barclays Center against Dalton Smith. And the New York State Athletic Commission has confirmed and determined that there was only 0.85 nanograms of ostarine, which doesn't qualify for a positive result, and it doesn't qualify for that Super Matias was cheating. It actually confirms that Super Matias was not cheating, and because the New York State Athletic Commission allows 1 nanogram of ostarine in your urine. But in Super Matias' case, they determined, the New York State Athletic Commission, that Super Matias is a clean fighter, and he is a clean fighter, and he has way below the minimum of the ostarine allowed in New York State to fight, which is 1 nanogram. He only had 0.85 nanograms, which is way below the minimum, and he didn't have a significant amount in his urine. So he's a clean fighter, and all these trolls out there like trying to determine that he's a cheater. They just wanted to jump on the bandwagon, and the powers that be, like Eddie Hearns, Matchroom, there was something filtered. They wanted to filter the facts of the Super Matias is a clean fighter because all the results were already determined, but now it's coming to the light, and the New York State Athletic Commission actually confirmed that Super Matias fight is going on, and they gave the green light for the fight, and that Super Matias is clean. He's not a dirty fighter, and that he has the minimum of 0.85 nanograms of ostarine, which doesn't qualify, for a positive result. He has a negative result. So, a lot of these big companies, elite companies, and not elite companies, and mainstream media was trying to undermine Super Matias because the powers that be, like Eddie Hearns, Matchroom, is a big possibility that they didn't like the fact that Super Matias Fresh Production Boxing of Puerto Rico outbidded Matchroom, Eddie Hearns' Matchroom company, which no one expected the Puerto Rican boxing promotion to outbid Matchroom, and they made history, and they don't like the fact that they have. It's like a psychological war that Eddie Hearns, Turkey Al-Sheikh, all these mainstream media has against Puerto Rican boxing promotion that's successful for the first time in history, bringing a fight out of Puerto Rico, exporting it to the United States in Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York. So this is something that they felt like they had to focus on the negative aspects, trying to bring Super Matias down to try to take away his belt and have Dalton Smith fight somebody else and try to strip Super Matias of his belt that he worked so hard and earned in a clean way. He never did anything dirty in his career. As you saw in the introduction of my video, he said that he's a clean fighter and that everything that he's done in his career has always been with sweat, blood, and tears, and he never had to do anything, any trickery of any form in his career to highlight himself. He did everything with hard work and the sweat and hard training, and that all those people that spat up in the ceiling, they're gonna have to wear an umbrella when the spit goes right back on them, because a lot of the things that they said is gonna backfire on them because they try to accuse Super Matias of something that he didn't do. They was just trying to play mind games, psychological games, like Eddie Hearns, Dalton Smith, the mainstream media, Vada. They were all trying to play mind games because the powers that be, they have connections with Vada, and they could do certain things where they could put certain news out there that benefits their fighter, and they try to use a lot of psychological warfare against Super Matias because he's a Puerto Rican boxer with an independent, fresh production boxing of Puerto Rico that outbidded Eddie Hearns' Matchroom from England. And we're making a statement, Puerto Ricans are making a statement that we're not going to be colonized by anybody and we're not going to be controlled by anybody. And Puerto Rico is going to make a big statement when Super Matias defeats and knocks out Dalton Smith and gives him a no Matias. And it's not only going to be a victory against Dalton Smith, but it's going to be a victory against Eddie Hearns, Turkey Al-Sheikh, the mainstream media of the United States, and Mike Coppinger. And it's going to be a victory against all those haters like Punch Drunk, saying negative stuff without getting his facts straight and just jumping on the bandwagon and always jumping at an opportunity to say something negative about Subriel Matias to get clickbait on his channel. But he's not a authentic boxing content creator. He's just a troll creating content, but he's not giving people value. He's giving people dishonesty and just clickbait and exploiting information to make Subriel Matias look bad and jumping on the bandwagon with everybody else, with all the non-believers, just to make Subriel Matias look bad. But now Subriel Matias is going to make everybody eat crow on January 10th. 2026, when he knocks out Dalton Smith, he's gonna knock out all the haters too. We got people like Vic Season saying stuff like, "Oh, like he's been putting out content that he doesn't stick to one content. He was doing boxing in the beginning. Then all of a sudden he came out with so many different topics that had nothing to do with boxing. He's not really being honest to his fans, and he's being disingenuous to his fans. I support the brother, but I feel like the brother's just doing things to clickbait as well. He's saying, "Oh, like I'm not really excited about the Subriel Matias fight no more. I'm not really like excited about it. There's just too much negative things behind it." And he's basically saying that he's not excited about the Subriel Matias fight with Dalton Smith because of the momentum. Like, you know, he has a point as far as the momentum, because right after he beat Alberto Puello, like he didn't fight until January. But at the same time, Matias got momentum now, because now they have all this negative stuff that was actually trying to prevent Subriel Matias' focus and concentration on the fight and trying to undermine him and make him look bad. Now that could possibly work in favor of Subriel Matias and actually make the fight even bigger, because of the victory, the vindication, and the exoneration that Subriel Matias received by New York State Athletic Commission, saying that he's a clean fighter, that the fight is a go, that there wasn't enough Ostarine monogram percentage in Subriel Matias to actually even cancel the fight, because he was super clean and he was underneath the 1% manogram. So like, all these people that hated on Subriel Matias, they all gonna eat crow. And all these people talking about, that Subriel Matias, that Dalton Smith is not a good fighter, that he should have fought Alberto Puello in the rematch, or they should have had more momentum, etc. Vic Season. Like, Vic Season just doing whatever he can do to get clickbait and get people to follow his channel. But I think it's corny. Like, that 1 minute he talks about stuff that happens on the news, and then he jumps, like, he talks about different things about just funny things about Puerto Ricans and the Puerto Rican hamburger or whatever. I was like watching, and I was like I really didn't want to watch for too long, because I'm like, if you're all over the place and you're like not focused on giving people the boxing content that they want to hear and they want to see, then you're not focused. You're sloppy Joe. You're all over the place. You got to be like authentic and original and give people the best value possible in boxing. And I speak Spanish and English, so I give people value on both sides, English and Spanish. I'm not limited. I don't limit myself. So, Subriel Matias is now waiting on the WBC. Suleiman, Mauricio Suleiman is we're gonna see what he says. If we're gonna see if he celebrates a victory of a Puerto Rican boxer being clean, like he's done with Mexican fighters, because there's something different about the way he treats Caribbean fighters like Cubans, Dominicans, and Puerto Ricans, specifically Puerto Rican. He doesn't give them the same praise and emphasis if they're clean. He don't treat the Puerto Rican boxers, the Cubans, and the Dominicans the same way he treats the Mexicans. He overemphasizes when it's a Mexican. He makes them look like he praises them more. And I think there's a discrimination that Mauricio Suleiman does when it comes to Caribbean boxers, specifically Puerto Rican boxers, champions like Subriel Matias. So I feel that mission. We're just gonna see what he says. They're waiting on what the WBC president Mauricio Suleiman says about what the New York State Athletic Commission just confirmed, that they gave the green light to Subriel Matias to fight Dalton Smith January 10th. And I believe that now a lot of haters that were actually talking bad about Subriel Matias, like Punch Drunk, he's putting videos out being sarcastic, making funny gestures and facial expressions, like while he's putting a video of Subriel Matias saying that he's innocent, that he's never had to use any drugs, to highlight his career performance, that he's done everything with sweat and tears and dedication and hard work. And he put that video out, and just to get clickbait, and he made like a funny face, like gestures, like trying to say that, insinuate that he's not clean, being sarcastic. And he's a funny guy. He's like you can't take him serious. You can't really take Punch Drunk serious. Like, he's not a real boxing content creator. He's just a fanboy that has pom-poms on for his favorite fighters, but he doesn't he's not objective or subjective. He's just all over the place, just wants to get clickbait, but he doesn't keep it real 100%. He don't get all his facts, and he has to work on that, and he needs to improve his authenticity, because he's losing respect by the real boxing fans and the real boxing people that really want the real truth and authentic information out there. And we got a lot of people that are all over the place, like Vic Season. Like, we just need to hold all these boxing content creators accountable. And I got nothing against them. They're Latinos, Punch Drunk, Dominican, and Vic Season, Puerto Rican. I got nothing but respect for what they're trying to do. But the way they're going about it recently is like, they're all over the place, man. They're very just disingenuous. And the limitation in the Spanish, Vic Season don't really know how to speak that much Spanish, and he needs to work on it, especially if you're proud to be a Boricua. He needs to do engage more with the Latino boxers and interview them in Spanish, and try to like broaden his horizons, but not like the way he's been doing it, like he's just doing so many different things that have nothing to do with boxing. He needs to do it in a way where it is authentic to the boxing content creation that he started with. Because now he's just showing me that he's not dedicated, he's not loyal. He's not loyal to his people that watch him. You got to be loyal. Stick to boxing. Don't change it up like that, because that's your channel. You can do whatever you want. And I support you, whatever you want to do, but I got to hold the Boricuas and the Latinos accountable, because Tony also knows boxing. Is going to keep it real all the time. Subscribe to that channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Subscribe to that channel. That's what I got right now as far as Subriel Matias and the fight. Let me read the comments over here. Tiffany Johnson 6709. Yo, what's good, Tiffany Johnson? Subscribe to the channel. Thanks for tuning into my channel. I appreciate everybody tuning into the channel, and subscribe to the channel. Click like. I appreciate my channel's growing. I'm gonna do a countdown to Puerto Rico. I'm going to Puerto Rico very soon in December. And I'm going to possibly meet up with all the boxers and some of the boxers that I actually interviewed from Puerto Rico, the future champions, Abisael Cotto, Stephanie Peñero, the WBA interim champion, and Yanquier Rivera, and Malik Quiñones, all these talented boxers from Puerto Rico that are actually going to be champions. And, Abisael Cotto did his thing. He just defeated Felix Caraballo on the undercard of Juanma Lopez versus Gallo the producer. And Abisael Cotto's the truth. He punished and dominated Felix Caraballo. So yeah, he's gonna be giving me an interview soon. I spoke to him, and Joey Borrero, Felix Tito Trinidad's cousin, I'm gonna interview him again. He fights December 20th. So God willing, I'm gonna try to interview him tomorrow before the festivities of the Thanksgiving holiday. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Subscribe to that channel. Tony also knows boxing. The countdown begins for me to get 1,000 subscribers. And I'm going to do videos in Puerto Rico. And I'm actually going to have like some behind the scenes, possibly of Puerto Rico and the boxers, and actually have like a one-on-one with them. Do some things and, hang out. Yeah, so this is the countdown for Tony also knows boxing to get 1,000 subscribers or beyond before the end of the year. Tony also knows boxing. That's going to be my victory before the end of the year if I get 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Subscribe to that channel. Don't be afraid to embrace the truth. Don't be afraid to get the truth received by Tony also. Like, don't be afraid to receive the truth and the unadulterated facts of Tony also knows boxing And by subscribing to my channel and clicking like, that means you're brave and you embrace the wholehearted truth, and you're not dodging the truth like most people, that they just want to be entertained with the lies, and they don't want to subscribe and click like to the real channels that speak the truth. They want to go to the channels that give you all that fake clickbait, and they just want to keep being entertained in a way where brainwashing your mind, and they're not giving you the total facts. They just luring you into their strategy of getting more subscribers and clicking like for their reasons, not for the reasons that you want as a boxing fan. There's no authenticity behind them. You can rewrite through those lies. All right. I really appreciate everybody tuning into the channel. Scottish Highlander #1 says nice. I appreciate you, my brother. Subscribe to the channel. Don't be afraid to subscribe to Tony Also Knows Boxing. I'm going to give it to you raw and real, and I'm going to do what most boxing content creators are not brave enough to do. Like, you know, like Punch Drunk and Vic Season, they want to just mix it up, but they don't want to keep it authentic. They don't want to keep it where they stick to the real stories, and they stick to boxing. Like, you got to stick to boxing. Don't, I know you want to switch it up just to get clicks and get subscribers, but do it the way you started. Be authentic to the boxing audience. You just got to stay consistent and original and loyal and charismatic. You got to be charismatic. There ain't no other way. You can make money, but if you're gonna make money doing things that force you to do different things, where you're not just focused on boxing content creation, it's like there's no consistency. People want to see consistency. Subscribe to that channel. Tony Also Knows Boxing. I'm consistent. Brooklyn, we keep it real. Brooklyn keeps on taking it. The Bronx keeps creating it, and Queens keeps on faking it. I got love for Queens, but I'm just saying, you know, the mentality behind that, you know, the 5 boroughs, you know, like Queens had to like really strive to get their respect, and they got their respect. But this is the mentality. When you come from Brooklyn, you spread love. You give love to everybody. That's what I try to be authentic to, the way you have to be, the way you grow up, the values, the foundation, how I was taught. And I was always taught to give respect so I could get respect. But at the same time, if you don't come correct, you ain't going to get respect. Word up. Check out my music on all major platforms. Tony Also, Mi Patria Linda, is available on all major platforms. I got Bomba en Plena, and I'm talking about what's going on in Puerto Rico, the colonialism of the United States, Act 60, the displacement of Boricuas. I'm talking about that and much more, and my fan base is growing. So check out Tony Also Knows Boxing. Subscribe to my channel and check out my music on Spotify. Tony Also on Pandora, YouTube, all digital platforms. I'm gonna do a song with a famous dance artist, freestyle artist. I can't say the name, but yeah, subscribe to the channel, and don't be afraid to check out the music as well. Unite the Tribes. Mi Patria Linda has Bomba en Plena. It's like 10 songs, and you got to check it out. I also rap on it, but I sing mostly on this album. I'm singing, and it's typical traditional music of Puerto Rico, and it's bringing awareness to what's going on in Puerto Rico with the Act 60 and the tax exemption, and Congress and the United States monopolizing Puerto Rico's resources to benefit U.S. corporations and displace Puerto Ricans in the island. Yeah, so if you want more information on that, check out my album. I got 4 albums, and I got a new album coming out, The Essence of Who I Am, which is gonna have trap, R&B. It's gonna have Afro beats, salsa, house music. It's gonna have a little bit of everything, you know. So check that out. Be on the lookout for that. That's The Essence of Who I Am, dedicated to my mother. God rest her soul. She's the one that inspires me to be the best version of myself, and God is the main source of giving me the ability to surpass my obstacles and my circumstances and be a better version of myself. Subscribe to that channel. Tony Also Knows Boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Subscribe to that channel. That's what I got right now. Super Matias is exonerated. He's clear to fight. New York State Athletic Commission already gave him the green light. So now what Puerto Ricans and everybody that's a fan needs to do is support him fully on that day and make a statement to all the haters that didn't want Super Matias to succeed and wanted to bring him down and talk up negative stuff without getting all their facts straight. I want everybody to support him, all Latinos and Boricua, and everybody that's non-Boricua that's a fan of Super Matias, to support Super Matias and go to the fight and support that brother, because now we get a chance to shove it in their face and to like actually show these people that you try to bring us down. You try to bring Subriel Matias down. Mike Coppinger, Punch Drunk, all these people, Turkey Al Sheik, this guy, Eddie Hearns, all these people, Dalton Smith, the mainstream media of the United States, they all try to make Subriel Matias look bad, but now they're going to eat crow on January 10th. Let's support Subriel Matias and let's make a statement, all of us. He's going to be bigger than ever. They're trying to affect the event. They're trying to affect the event of Subriel Matias because it's promoted by a boxing promotion from Puerto Rico, Fresh Production Boxing. So there's a lot of politics behind this, psychological warfare with elite companies against another company that's established and has became elite, Fresh Production Boxing in Puerto Rico. They don't want to see Puerto Ricans winning. So all those haters that hated on Puerto Rico and now all of a sudden they want to act brand new because the fight is back on, even those people, man, y'all suckers, man. Y'all don't keep it real. Be authentic. Be authentic like Tony also. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Subscribe to that channel. I'm going to keep it real. I don't care what people say. If you got offended, then get out of my channel. But if you're brave and you got heart and you're intelligent, you embrace what I say. One love. Tony also knows boxing. Subscribe to that channel. Tony also knows boxing. Subriel Matias is clean. And he's going to prove all the haters wrong. Punch Drunk, Eddie Hearns, Mike Coppinger, Turkey Al Sheik, Dalton Smith, Matchroom, all of them haters. They're paying the price with Subriel Matias' success and his exoneration. The exoneration of Subriel Matias, they're paying the price. And now with the victory, when Subriel Matias beats Dalton Smith, I want them to suffer even more. I want them to keep hating, and then they're going to eventually be congratulating. Eventually. Some of them. If they're bold enough to be real with themselves instead of being haters. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Subscribe to that channel. One love. Peace. That's all I got for now. Subriel Matias, we've proven that Puerto Rico is going to be free.